Ladies and gentlemen, right now, in this moment, you are standing at the edge of something extraordinary, the edge of a breakthrough, the edge of reclaiming your power, your potential, and your life. But here's the catch. It all starts with YOU, not your circumstances, not the opinions of others, but YOU. The moment you decide to focus on yourself, everything changes. Too many of us are distracted. We're focused on the past. We're worried about the future. We're obsessed with other people's lives, opinions, and judgments. But let me tell you something. The greatest power in this universe is the power you have within you. And the moment you take that power back, the moment you focus on YOU, you will unleash forces inside of you that you can't even imagine. I want you to think about the times in your life when you felt truly unstoppable. Think about those moments where you've been so absorbed in what you're doing that nothing else mattered. Maybe it was that one project you nailed, that time you conquered your fear, or when you were so committed to a goal that you didn't even notice the obstacles along the way. That was the power of focus. The power to unlock your potential lies in the unwavering focus on your own growth. Far too often, we become entangled in external distractions, influenced by the opinions and expectations of others, or we fixate on things that don't align with our true purpose. We look outside ourselves for answers, seeking validation and approval, rather than turning inward to discover the boundless strength and capabilities already within. Focusing on your potential means silencing the noise of the world around you and placing your attention squarely on what you can accomplish, who you can become, and the massive impact you can make. When you focus on your potential, you stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect moment or for external circumstances to align. You realize that the key to your success has always been in your hands. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that your circumstances define you, that your past mistakes dictate your future, or that you are limited by the opinions of others. But when you shift your focus to your potential, you begin to see beyond these surface-level barriers. You start to recognize that your past doesn't have to dictate your future, and that every setback is merely a stepping stone toward greater things. What lies within you is immense. The person you are today is only a fraction of who you can become if you choose to focus on your growth. It's not about trying to live up to someone else's standards, nor is it about fitting into someone else's idea of success. Focusing on your potential is about discovering who you are meant to be and aligning your actions with that vision. It's about breaking free from the chains of fear, doubt, and limitation that have held you back for far too long. Focusing on your potential is not passive. It's an active choice to invest in your own development, whether it's through learning new skills, embracing new challenges, or shifting your mindset. Every step you take toward focusing on your potential compounds over time. It's a commitment to doing whatever it takes to unlock the version of yourself that is capable of achieving greatness. When you begin to look inward and see the incredible power that resides within you, the entire world changes. Opportunities you once thought were out of reach become accessible. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now become challenges to conquer. This focus demands clarity. You can't just passively hope that your potential will manifest. You must decide what that potential looks like for you. What is your vision? What do you want to achieve? Who do you want to become? When you have a clear and vivid image of your future self, the path becomes clearer and your focus becomes stronger. The distractions, the noise, and the external pressures fade into the background because your attention is laser focused on the possibilities that lie ahead. It's time to stop holding back. The potential within you is not something that's out of reach. It's something that is waiting to be unleashed, but only when you make the conscious choice to focus on it, to nourish it, and to take action toward bringing it to life. You hold the power to create the life you desire. The only thing standing between you and your potential is the decision to believe in it and take deliberate steps forward every single day. Eliminating distractions is one of the most powerful steps you can take on the path to achieving your fullest potential. The world around you is filled with noise, constant interruptions, and external pressures that beg for your attention. Every day, you're bombarded with messages, demands, and responsibilities that pull you in a million different directions. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle, to become so overwhelmed by everything going on around you that you forget to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your goals, and your future. Distractions are not just physical, they are mental, emotional, and psychological. They come in many forms: social media, endless to-do lists, other people's expectations, or even your own limiting beliefs. You may find yourself constantly thinking about past mistakes, worrying about the future, or getting caught in negative self-talk. All of these distractions cloud your judgment, drain your energy, and hold you back from achieving your true potential. In order to focus on what's important, you have to remove or minimize these distractions and reclaim your mental and emotional space. The first step in eliminating distractions is becoming aware of them. You need to identify what's pulling your attention away from your true purpose. Is it the constant noise of the news cycle or the pull of social media? Are you constantly chasing the approval of others? Or do you find yourself stuck in comparison to people around you? It's essential to recognize these distractions for what they are: obstacles that are keeping you from focusing on what you really want and need to achieve. Once you've identified the distractions, you need to take deliberate action to reduce or eliminate them. This doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world entirely, but rather being selective about what you allow into your life. Start by setting boundaries. If social media is a time drain, consider limiting your usage or setting specific times of the day to check it. If certain people are draining your energy or pulling you off course, evaluate whether those relationships are supporting your goals or holding you back. In both your personal and professional life, setting boundaries around your time and attention is crucial for staying focused on what truly matters. Another powerful tool in eliminating distractions is learning how to manage your environment. Your surroundings have a massive impact on your ability to stay focused and productive. If you're working in a cluttered, chaotic space, it's easy to become overwhelmed and distracted. Take control of your environment by creating a space that supports your goals. Organize your workspace, remove unnecessary clutter, and set up an environment that promotes focus, clarity, and calm. This physical space will serve as a reflection of the mental and emotional space you're cultivating. The mental and emotional distractions are often the hardest to overcome because they are so deeply ingrained. Self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs can be some of the strongest distractions you face. They tell you that you're not good enough, that success is out of reach, or that you're unworthy of your goals. But these are just distractions, lies that are holding you back from realizing your true power. To eliminate these mental distractions, you must challenge them head on. Whenever doubt or fear creeps in, remind yourself of your strengths, your potential, and your vision. Replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations and actionable steps that reinforce your belief in your own ability. Distractions will always be a part of life, but it's how you choose to respond to them that determines your success. The more you consciously eliminate the noise, the clearer your path will become. By protecting your time, energy, and focus, you'll be able to dedicate yourself fully to the pursuit of your dreams and unlock the full power of your potential. Your story does not have to be defined by your past, your failures, or the mistakes you've made. In fact, those things do not define you at all. They're just chapters in a book that you are still writing, and the most empowering truth you can embrace is that you have the power to rewrite your story at any moment. Your life is not a result of what has happened to you, but rather a reflection of how you choose to respond and the actions you decide to take moving forward. Most people are held back by the stories they tell themselves. They carry around the weight of past regrets, the sting of past failures, or the fear that their mistakes will dictate their future. But when you choose to rewrite your story, you take back control of the narrative. You stop being a victim to your circumstances and start becoming the author of your life. You rewrite the story of who you are, what you can achieve, and what you deserve. This is where real transformation begins. Rewriting your story requires a shift in mindset. It means rejecting the limiting beliefs that have kept you stuck for so long. These beliefs are nothing more than stories you've been telling yourself about what you can and can't do, what you deserve, and what you're capable of achieving. These beliefs are not facts. They are simply interpretations of your past, and you have the power to change them. The moment you choose to challenge these stories and replace them with empowering truths, you unlock a whole new world of possibility. The first step in rewriting your story is to take responsibility for where you are right now. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for past mistakes, but rather acknowledging that you are the one in control of your present and future. Responsibility is about ownership. It's about recognizing that no matter what has happened to you in the past, you have the ability to shape your future through the choices you make today. When you take ownership of your life, you stop waiting for things to change on their own, and you start actively creating the life you want. The next step is to visualize the story you want to tell. What does your ideal life look like? What are your goals, your dreams, your aspirations? Close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you desire. Picture yourself overcoming the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. See yourself achieving your goals, living in alignment with your values, and stepping into your full potential. This visualization is not just a fantasy, it is the blueprint for the story you are about to write. The clearer and more vivid your vision, the more real it becomes, and the more power it has to guide your actions. Once you have a vision, it's time to take consistent action toward that new story. You can't just think about it or hope for it to happen. You need to take real, tangible steps every single day that align with the story you are creating. This may mean letting go of old habits, stepping outside your comfort zone, or confronting your fears head on. Rewriting your story is not always easy, but it is always worth it. The actions you take today will shape the life you live tomorrow. The final step in rewriting your story is to release the past. It's time to let go of the baggage that's been holding you back. Whether it's guilt, shame, anger, or regret, these emotions no longer serve you. They are simply reminders of a chapter that's already been written. You don't have to carry them with you anymore. By forgiving yourself and others, you create the space for new opportunities and experiences to enter your life. Rewriting your story requires you to step into the future with a clean slate, free from the weight of past limitations. Success is not something that happens by chance. It is the result of relentless action, day in and day out. We often hear about the importance of setting goals, having a vision, and dreaming big, but none of that matters unless you are willing to take massive action toward those dreams. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, all the plans, all the dreams, all the desire mean nothing. It's the fuel that propels you forward, and without it, your vision will remain just that, a vision, never a reality. Taking massive action means moving beyond the planning stage. It's about putting your ideas into motion, no matter how imperfect or uncertain the path may seem. Perfection is an illusion, and if you're waiting for everything to line up perfectly before you take the first step, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, action will always beat inaction, and the key to success lies in taking consistent, bold steps toward your goals, even when you don't have all the answers. It's about making progress, not waiting for conditions to be ideal. The more action you take, the clearer the path will become, and the closer you'll get to your destination. Massive action doesn't just mean doing more, it means doing more with purpose and intention. It's about moving with intensity and focus. It's not about being busy, it's about being effective. The difference between someone who is successful and someone who isn't often comes down to their ability to take consistent, purposeful action, even when things get difficult. Success requires persistence, and the only way to build that persistence is through taking massive, unwavering action in the face of obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. When you commit to taking action, you also commit to stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth never happens when you stay in your comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself to go beyond what you thought was possible, to take risks, and to challenge your own limits. Action requires courage, the courage to take the first step even when you feel fear or doubt. The fear of failure can be paralyzing, but the truth is that failure is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace as a learning experience. Every failure is a lesson, and with each lesson, you grow stronger and more resilient. The more action you take, the more you'll learn, and the closer you'll get to your goals. One of the most powerful aspects of taking massive action is that it builds momentum. At first, it may feel like nothing is happening, like you're not making any progress. But the more you take action, the more momentum you create, and before long, you'll find yourself moving toward your goals with greater speed and confidence. It's the compound effect. Small, consistent actions repeated over time lead to massive results. You may not see the immediate results, but trust that every step you take is building the foundation for your success. Taking action also means embracing accountability. When you make the decision to take massive action, you commit to showing up for yourself every single day. You hold yourself accountable for your progress, and you stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect time or the perfect conditions, and you start taking responsibility for making your dreams a reality. Accountability is the key to staying on track and continuing to push forward even when it gets tough. For far too long, many of us have relied on external validation to measure our worth and success. We seek approval from others, whether it's from our family, friends, colleagues, or society at large. We chase the praise, the recognition, and the admiration of others, believing that if we can just get enough positive feedback, we'll finally feel good enough, worthy enough, or successful enough. But here's the hard truth: external validation is a trap. It's a fleeting, unstable source of confidence, and it will never provide the lasting sense of fulfillment and purpose that we truly desire. When you base your self-worth on the opinions of others, you're giving away your power. You allow others to dictate how you feel about yourself, and that means your happiness and sense of value are entirely dependent on factors you can't control. One person's compliment can boost your mood for a moment, while one person's criticism can send you into a spiral of self-doubt. This kind of external dependence creates a roller coaster of emotions where your sense of self-worth rises and falls with the approval or disapproval of others. And in the end, it leaves you feeling ungrounded and vulnerable. The only way to truly step into your power is to stop seeking validation from the outside and start looking within. You are the only person who can determine your worth. You are the only person who can decide whether you are good enough, capable enough, or deserving of success. It is not up to anyone else to tell you who you are or what you can achieve. When you stop waiting for approval and begin trusting yourself, you unlock a level of confidence that is unshakable and unwavering. This self-assurance comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for, not from the opinions of others. The first step in breaking free from the need for external validation is to recognize that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to change who you are or seek approval to be worthy of success and happiness. You were born with inherent value, and that value doesn't depend on anyone else's recognition. The more you internalize this truth, the less you'll rely on others to tell you what you're capable of or deserving of. You become your own biggest supporter, and that internal belief becomes the foundation for all your future success. Another critical aspect of moving away from external validation is setting your own standards and goals. Instead of chasing what others have or doing things just to impress people, focus on what truly matters to you. What are your values? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to create? When you set your own standards, you stop measuring yourself against other people's achievements and instead measure your progress based on your personal vision and growth. This shift allows you to feel fulfilled and satisfied on your own terms without needing the constant feedback of others. As you stop seeking validation from others, you will also find that the opinions of others start to lose their power over you. Criticism will no longer sting as much because you'll know who you are and what you stand for. You'll start to see that others' opinions are simply reflections of their own experiences and beliefs, not absolute truths about you. This doesn't mean that feedback is irrelevant or that you stop listening to those you trust. It simply means that you no longer allow external validation to define you or determine your worth. This shift from seeking validation to trusting yourself is one of the most liberating experiences you can have. It allows you to move through life with confidence, authenticity, and resilience. You no longer wait for permission to be great because you already know that you are. The journey to personal growth and success becomes yours to own, not based on what anyone else thinks, but based on what you believe you are capable of achieving. Today is the day you must make a decision to stop waiting. Too many people spend their lives caught in the trap of one day. They wait for the right time, the right conditions, or the right circumstances. They think that success or fulfillment will somehow appear when everything aligns perfectly. But here's the reality: the right time is now. Waiting for conditions to be perfect is a way of procrastinating, a way of holding yourself back from taking the first step toward your dreams. You are not guaranteed tomorrow, and your future will only become a reality when you take action today. We often think we have all the time in the world, but the truth is that time is the one resource you can never get back. Every day that passes without action is a day that you could have used to move closer to your goals. The biggest mistake you can make is to wait for everything to be perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. There will always be obstacles, uncertainties, and challenges. The secret to success is not waiting for these things to disappear, but rather moving forward despite them. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. Success doesn't wait for the perfect moment. The key is to start, even if you feel unprepared, even if things aren't exactly how you imagined, even if you're scared or unsure. You'll never feel completely ready, but you will become ready through your actions. There's a powerful shift that happens when you stop waiting and start acting. The moment you make the commitment to move forward, no matter what, the world begins to move with you. Opportunities start showing up in ways you never expected. You begin to build momentum, and momentum breeds confidence. You start to believe that you can actually do it because you're proving to yourself with every step that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. The fear and doubt that once held you back begin to lose their grip on you. They start to fade because you're no longer paralyzed by them. You are living in the moment, taking action, and stepping into your future with purpose. Inaction is the real enemy of progress. Every moment you spend waiting is a moment you could have used to make strides toward your goals. Even small actions taken consistently will move you closer to where you want to be. The secret to success is not about making huge leaps every day, but about taking consistent, deliberate action, even if those steps feel small. Small progress adds up over time, and before you know it, you've made significant strides. When you choose to stop waiting, you also choose to stop being a passenger in your own life. You stop waiting for things to happen to you, and you start making things happen. You take control of your destiny. This shift in mindset is one of the most powerful things you can do. It changes everything. How you see yourself, how you see the world, and how you approach every challenge. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities to grow, learn, and get better. The future you dream of can only become a reality if you start taking action today. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because that moment is now. Take that first step, even if it's small. Stop letting fear, doubt, or uncertainty hold you back. Every single step you take today brings you closer to the person you're meant to be and the life you're meant to create. The only thing standing between you and your future is the decision to act now.